Yeah, we're here. Hi, how are you? You're very welcome. Kate Neal Fáilte Connemara, just to reciprocate, that's good. You're going in. My name is Simon Wall. I'm the town architect to Westport, and I've been the town architect for almost 2 decades now. It's an unusual position to have. There's very few of them in the country. We perceived that having a town architect was a successful thing for Westport, has now emulated in Castlebar and Ballina, our 3 urbans. I'm part of a team, Team Westport, which is not only in the town council where I'm employed, but it's also the town manager and the clerk and all our various people within the town council, within Westport House, within Destination Westport and Westport Tourism. There's a whole series of bodies, and we all pull together and stand as one. And we don't belong to we belong to various different organisations, but collectively we're very much one unit, and that has been our strength over the past 20 years. I'm going to give you a little talk here now. It's called the Westport Experience, and it's really that journey over the past 2 decades, manifest mainly in the building process, because a lot of these projects were building driven for different facilities within the town and different bits of tourism infrastructure. You'll be glad to know there's 4 sections to the talk. I'm going to talk a little bit about context and legacy, then our town design statement, which is called Westport 2000. Not a development plan, but a town design statement. Our National Smarter Travel designation with the Department of Transport. The Historic Towns Initiative, which is a new initiative from central government which will replace heritage towns. I assume you're also a heritage town in Killarney. Yes. Okay. Well, the new thing is going to be historic towns. I'll talk a little bit about that later on, because I think there's opportunities for towns like us in the future there. And then the very positive working relation between the house and the town, the collective, the Westport House, which is very much our mother. It's in private ownership, and they're very much part of our team. And Biddy, who's the marketing manageress of Westport House, along with Muriel, are very much part of that town team. Okay, so we start off by saying, what are we? What is Westport? We're absolutely nothing. In a world context, we're minute. We're a small town on a small island on the western shores of the European community, off a slightly larger island, despite what our neighbours might think, off an ever-expanding Europe. Europe is going east all the time, so there's less opportunities for grant aid and initiatives of central government, because the money is flowing east with the expansion of the European community. So as Bono would say in his song, we're almost continually running to stand still. We're barely treading water just to survive. So every day is a struggle. So never take it for granted that you're okay. There's always pressure to perform continuously, because if you don't keep reinventing yourself, you'll sink. Westport's economies are driven by the 2 T's, as we call them, technology and tourism. We're very fortunate to be the small IDA initiative here about 30 or 40 years ago, and a very small American multinational set up a small base in Westport here called Allergan. And that's grown over the years to the extent they employ 1,000 people. So that's very good for us in terms of bringing money into the economy and quality jobs and rejuvenating the town very much. And they're famous. They started with cleansing fluid for contact lenses till the patents ran out. And they've reinvented themselves like the town has. And their product at the moment is Botox. Do you know what Botox is? No. That's what we're all smiling. Essentially, if you're an actor in the West End or the East Enders in London, or if you're in Hollywood in California, your Botox is 100% guaranteed Irish, made here in town. So we're always smiling, including Ali over there. So, and the next big thing is tourism. There's a population of 5,500 in Westport. It'll go up to about 12,000 in the summers. It's quite a swing. That includes the hinterland. And we have 12 hotels. So we very much have a similar profile as yourselves. And that, historically, that season was very much just during the school holidays. But so many bed nights were built over the Celtic Tiger period that that's expanding over time. Like in the back of the Irish Times, you'll see offers for hotels in Killarney, as you will hear, really trying to fill it on the midweeks as opposed to the weekends, which we get a good supply of people coming in for. The train is also very important in the golden age groups, the midweek specials. But that historically season that was just during the summer, those shoulders are broadening and expanding all the time to give us consistent employment on a year round. So it's forever evolving and changing and expanding. Just outside Westport, we have Pro Patrick, where St. Patrick emulated the life of Christ by spending 40 days and 40 nights fasting on the summit. And spiritual tourism is very important to us. you'll realise from today people don't come here for the weather. They come here like in Killarney. It's for a cultural experience. It's putting us up on quite a pedestal, actually. But you're here for a cultural experience today. And so spiritual tourism is very important to us. And on the foot of Roe Patrick, you'll see the National Family Memorial there by John Behan, which was one that we secured about 15 years ago through national competition to secure it at the foot of Roe Patrick. It's a real accolade, and it's very much a draw for us here locally. It's a very positive thing for us in terms of tourism here. Westport is a planned estate town. It didn't evolve organically on the side of a river and expand in a haphazard manner. It was planned day one in the 1700s on a greenfield site and expanded. So it's actually quite a new town compared to many towns within the country. We're fortunate in Westport that the original family, the Altaments or the Browns, that built the house are still in ownership of the house today, and they live within the estate. So it's the last great Anglo-Irish house on the west coast of Ireland that those who built the house in the town still reside within the estate today. So that continuity is very important. And today the house is run by Sheila Brown. Lord Altamont passed away there a few months ago, and Sheila has taken the reins, and along with Biddy and the team down in Westport House, it's functioning very well and expanding into the future. Great Anglo-Irish houses went through difficult times in the 50s and the 60s, a lot of them closing down. The Altaments pushed, and they opened up the house to tourism in the 60s, and it's been a very positive thing for the town. And it was really through their hard work that they pushed and survived this entity for us within the town force, so they're very much part of our team. If you look at an aerial shot of Westport, you have Westport House there in the centre, and you have the curtilage around the estate. And Westport's actually two towns. You have the historic town core here in Land, where we are at the moment, and you've also an urban centre down at the quay of the harbour, where the town started because of the commercial relationship with the ocean, the sea, which was the highway. In the 1940s and 50s, with the advent of the train and the car, and commercialism started looking over land eastwards instead of the ocean. And that's one of the things we're trying to do today, is push to the development of our relationship with the sea back again, i.e. turning history around. And so you have the town core, the harbour area, and the house in the centre. And through the Celtic Tiger period, most of these lands, these green lands, are the ones that are developed, and ultimately the town and the harbour will touch each other. It's like a conurbation, as they say in America. It's a U-shaped development which is encircling the house itself. And they're linked by one of our small greenways which links the town core down to the harbour, which we go on today. We look at the town core here. The town itself was designed as a series of architectural civic spaces and gestures. So when you came into town, you started in one space, you circulated to another and another and another, up to the gates of Westport House, across the lawn, and right up to the front door of Westport House. So it's a whole sequence of architectural spaces at the time, interlinked on a routeway up to the house. And it starts here at the Clew River. You can see it's very elongated and straightened. Naturally, it happens in a more narrow, organic, meandering manner, but the Altaments straightened the river up and widened it, almost creating two formal pools within the town centre. It's called canalising a river, with an inflow at the top and a flow out at the bottom. And along each side, they built the merchant princes' houses and a tree-lined boulevard on each side. So this becomes an important civic gesture. And you can imagine historically coming in on your horse and cart, you hit the river. It's a very formalised architectural set piece. You come down across the bridges, and it leads you up to a visual access to the front gate lodge of Westport House. You go through the gates, you're more impressed. You sweep across the lawns, through the Atlantic landscape, viewing the front of the house through copses of trees, and ultimately brings you up to the door. You know Lord Altamont is an important man before you ever meet him, because you've gone through this whole sequence of circulation spaces, which essentially is the town of Westport. You have the Octagon there, the main civic space, and our main commercial street is Bridge Street and Shop Street. It's almost like a boomerang shape. Westport, just go back. And this is the other urban centre, Westport Harbour. And a lot of this was redeveloped during the Celtic Tiger period. We had, the Celtic Tiger was very potent in Westport in the sense that we also had Section 23 tax designation, so it was a real catalyst. We did a serious amount of building over that period, and a lot of our holiday accommodation was built. We tried to locate quite a lot of it, down at the harbour area, so you weren't putting holiday accommodation within existing residential areas, which is negative in the winter when the rent is socially negative. So what we've tried to do is put a lot of it in one particular area, our holiday accommodation hotels and apartments and apart hotels. They're down at the ocean where people want to be on their holidays. So it's very much a holiday area down at the quay itself.